Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for a members video. And ultimately, you might be watching this a few days down the line and it may have become a YouTube video. So, we are very pro, supporting the people that support us the most first. But ultimately, we are here to give our view on MultiVAC, and I want to sort of talk about this in a lot of detail. So I apologize if this is a very long video. Personally, I feel like it's really worth spending the time to watch this video in full. Ultimately, I have nothing to lose. Well, I say I've got nothing to lose. I have got something to lose, but I've got nothing to gain. Now, the question is, what could I possibly lose if I've got nothing to gain? And that would be, I guess confidence in our brand. So I would say I've got everything to lose and nothing to gain out of talking about MultiVAC and doing this video, right? But, maybe I have got everything to gain. Maybe you should flip it on its head and think, this is actually going to bring confidence to my brand, because I'm going to lay down the facts and I'm going to give you the information as I see it. Now, I believe that everything that I'm going to cover off in this video is factual information. I will speculate on my thoughts on some of the stuff that I'm going to cover. What I would say though is, treat this as entertainment, for entertainment purposes only, and go away and research what is detailed in this video, and prove that it's wrong, or prove that it's accurate information yourselves. And ultimately, why am I doing this? I really feel that the project isn't being transparent enough, and we have basically called out the fact that we wanted the team to deliver a good roadmap. We wanted to understand what is going on, a little bit more about the team, all of these things. Now there's a number of red flags that have cropped up, and I think that it's important that investors, or people that are considering investing, have I guess some information to make an impartial decision as to whether they continue with their investment or they make an investment. So I'm putting this stuff out there. Like I say, I can speculate. People can speculate that the information is falsified in some way. It's not. It's been doctored in some way. But ultimately, I'm treating it as it's factual information. That's how I believe it to be. That's my honest opinion, just like everything else in this video is going to be. And like I say, I want MultiVAC to be successful. Right now, I've been very vocal about what I want to see from the project and what the community have told me they want to see from the project. So I am going to open the video with some questions that I've got, because there's a lot of people that have been criticizing us, and we can go right back to January, right? And in January, people were criticizing us because we weren't staked and we didn't tell people that we were unstaked. And we sold on the community. That's perceptionally what was shared, and how we were criticized. So I did on Twitter say to the community of MultiVAC to join our Discord. That's where we're going to sort of share information. If you want to be kept up to date on your MultiVAC, any MultiVAC information, that's where you should go. And I made lots of learnings, right? And one of those learnings was that I'm going to put everything behind a paid wall when it comes to our staking movements and our buys and our sells. So ultimately, if you want to join our Patreon, you will get that, and you'll get that in real time, right? As we're making those sales and as we're making those purchases, and if we're moving staking or unstaking or staking, whatever. So ultimately, those were the learnings. I kind of felt like we were really transparent, and the minority that are out there, criticizing, ruined what was free information, and made it something that was actually going to cost some additional money for individual for that level of transparency. And like why have we delayed? Well, we've delayed because the learnings that we made in January, but where we were criticised so heavily for selling our MultiVAC, which is ultimately our portfolio, it's our decisions, and it's almost like from a perception piece from my side that it's okay for the community to sell on the influencer, but the influencer under no circumstances can sell on the retailer or the retail investor. So it's very interesting, that concept. So we decided this time, well, we decided back in January, but we decided that we will give people notice, right, of when we're going to sell. So I gave notice that I had put a sell order in back in April, and so initially we sold in January, but then I bought back in because the community convinced me that it was the right thing to do, and I was wrong, and I bought into it all, right, and very, very well convinced that this is the right thing to do. So I got back in really cheap, in fact, right, but then I realized actually it's going nowhere. And I did detail in our Patreon membership that I was selling my MultiVAC and what I was selling it for, and then eventually that order was met, and I was out of MultiVAC. Now, we haven't done any videos on MultiVAC. We don't get many views, so I'm not doing this to get views. We would have just done a Luna video and got far more views than we would for this particular video. Matter of fact, I'm doing it as a members video to start off with. But ultimately, there's very little to gain, but there's confidence in our brand to lose. So I would question who you should trust in this scenario. Do you trust people that have a vested interest in either MultiVAC because of their investments, or because they're building on the ecosystem, or believing in somebody that's laying down what they believe is factual information, coming from an impartial position? But with that said, when I say impartial, I want the project to be successful. I want every one of you to be successful. And that is why I'm doing the video. I'm not doing the video to FUD on a project. I'm doing it because I think people should know what they're invested in, and make the right decisions based on how they go and research and what they find. So without further ado, if you enjoy the video, hit that I think it's like a heart if it's on Patreon. Failing that, if you're watching it much later on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. I am going to open it up with some questions. I think that's quite fitting, and I also think that the reason why it's important to open with questions first, which will hint at some of the stuff that's going to come later on, is because there's going to be a lot of people trying to discredit the information that we're putting out here, right? And we'll get down to the desktop, we'll have a look, and I'll let you guys make your views, knowing that I'm impartial, right? So let's have a look at MultiVAC here. It's up 11.76%. That is fantastic. Love seeing that. It's at 0.001695, ranked 931st by market cap. Fantastic price. It's up 11.76%. I think that's great. I'm happy that it's up. Against, I guess, in contrast to perhaps the sentiment of my position on MultiVAC, I want people to be successful. So I am happy that the price is up 11.76%. But it's a question in my mind of, is it going to continue to go up, or is it going to continue to survive a bear market? And the question that I do ask people to consider is, very much in the Luna scenario, where we had people criticizing the fact that I did a video on Luna. When I say I did a video on Luna, I was doing it in like a video based on like the biggest risk I've ever taken, and I did talk about knowing the risks before getting in, and talking about knowing the risks when you get in. What I want to highlight is you can still go down 99% from 0.001695, as much as you can go up 95%. I think that's really important to understand, Just because something is cheap doesn't necessarily mean that it's a great opportunity to do really well. The market cap is, down at a very, very small 6 million market cap. Now, the circulating supply has always kind of been inaccurate. The max supply again. I question a lot of the data, right? And I think that is a positive thing, right? And when I say I question the data, we should be questioning the data no matter the project. Okay, so we will start with being really like fair, transparent, and clear as to the information that's contained in this video, right? So I had this message on Twitter amongst all the FUD. Now, this is coming from somebody that didn't really send some pleasant messages before this message telling me that I was going to look stupid for doing the video. So that I should DM this individual to say, to see what it is, right? So I said, what you got then? You are being fed messages from private chats, and they are using you to create FUD so you can bring the price of MTV down. This is what I'm being told this morning. This person is Tom, the moderator and lead on MTV.art. This person is also known as Fact King Punk from MTV Punks. Not only is this person ruining the launch of MTV.art, they have taken it over and are looking like the savior, basically, is what's being said here. Check the transfer of MTV.art. You will see it has changed twice recently. These people are bad actors in the space. That is the true story here. We have more information and we'll be releasing it in due course. I, out of courtesy, am giving you the chance to rethink the side you wish to be on with this. Please go ahead. Do not blame anyone but yourselves if you end up making you if it ends up making you look bad. So I am always open-minded, right, when it comes to sides of stories and all that sort of stuff, right? So I'm quite happy to basically hear both sides of the story. Now, I am impartial. I'm not taking any sides. I don't know whether this is true or whether it's just BS. I mean, let's be honest, this is coming from somebody that has not been tweeting nice things and is ultimately part, or I believe to be part of, the ecosystem in some way, right? So ultimately, I'm not discrediting this information, saying it's not factual, but at the same time, what I am saying is I don't know what the truth is. And ultimately, I want to start with, I've just got here, some of the tweets, kind of irrelevant. But what I want to do is I kind of want to start with some questions from myself, I guess. But before I do, I'm going to cover off, the guessing. I did this on the YouTube video. Lots of people trying to guess what it is that I'm going to cover. Lots of people are going to be trying to discredit the information that I put out in this video. So with all this said, I think it's really important that if people are going to try to discredit the information in this video, they don't just go and say, oh, they're fudding the project. This is just noise. They're just bitter. Sean gave them the hard shoulder and all this, absolute childness like behavior that we see, across Twitter. We should really be trying to actually come back with the answers to the questions that I've got. So this is how I'm going to open up this video. I'm opening it up with the questions that I have from the information that I'm about to share with you, right? So these are the questions that I have for the team of MultiVAC. And when I say the team, I look at the team as everybody involved in MultiVAC, right? I look at this as the people building on the ecosystem, so those devs. I also consider the team the mods and the admins, the marketing people behind MultiVAC. I include all of these people as the team MultiVAC, just so we cover that up you know, from the very get-go. So my questions, that, you know, to be honest, you know, this is, I guess, a great summary to start with. So if you're going to try to say that this is FUD, please answer these questions, right? Factually. So, and don't base it on, you know, your thoughts and opinions of Sean working 15 hours or, you know, and deserving time to play games. Base it on, you know, what you actually know, not what you believe, you know, in your heart, right? Use your minds. So my questions are, have bots been used to set up wallets? And we'll come on to why I'm asking these questions later. Are bots still being used to set up wallets? Are bots being used to promote tweets and so on Twitter, for example? Are the projects building on MultiVAC using bots to promote their projects? Is MultiVAC or Team MultiVAC posting fake news stories or stories in general? Are Team MultiVAC selling on the community, in brackets, the mods and admins, the whole team? I'm asking that question. Are they selling on retail investors? Do Team MultiVAC hold MTV still? Again, this is everybody. I'm asking the question. Do the mods still own MultiVAC? Does the MTV, you know, team still own MultiVAC? Does Sean still own MultiVAC? Just questions that I think, you know, we should ask ourselves. And, you know, if you want to, you know, discredit what we're saying, answer these questions, right? And we'll see, you know, whether, you know, we can discredit or not. Has anyone met the team? You know, I'm talking about 𝗕𝗓𝗪 or the devs, because there's, I guess, the sentiment of the community is that it's just Sean. Is 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 or should I say 𝗕𝗓𝗪? Does 𝗕𝗓𝗪 have a LinkedIn profile? I've searched, I can't find one. Is it just Sean working on MultiVAC? When will we have the audit? When will we get nodes? When will we have mainnet on exchanges? When will we get transparency? When hackathon? Is the tech good, as I see in all these tweets, or is it just an 𝗕𝗢𝗠 clone? It would be great to actually get some information on what it actually is. Are the mods going to get the source and run the project themselves? Will Sean go down as the worst programmer, CEO, manager? Is Frank sick, or is he still working on the project? Is any of this information that we have based on facts? And these are the questions that I've got, right? And there's a lot of questions. It's just whether the information that I'm going to share with you answers any of those questions. And I'm not going to say that it does or it doesn't. That's really down for you to make a decision. So one of the first things that I really want to do, I say the first thing, all that other stuff was the first stuff, but the next thing that I want to work on or talk about would be, I guess, the behavior on Twitter, right? And there's a lot of people saying that, you know, I shouldn't have done certain things, and you know, I've ruined the brand perception and all this sort of stuff. Now, I want to be really, really clear. I'm not going to apologize for the stuff that I've been doing on Twitter. It is a little bit out of character, and I think I articulated in the last video that I did that I'm not really doing it for views. However, with all that said, everybody is talking about this scenario. Even the CEO has tweeted out, like, trying to make me look like a bit of an idiot. We've had people that have set up YouTube channels doing YouTube videos on us. Ultimately, what I have done is I have got the MultiVAC community talking about stuff and questioning, and ultimately that was always my motive behind all of these tweets. Obviously, initially this particular tweet was just a joke, but off the back of it, everything else has been just build up awareness that I've got some information to share and that people should be interested in it. So I think that's, goal achieved. Well done, and thank you for all the support, MultiVAC, ecosystem team, devs, all of you guys. You've really helped push this out to all of the community. Well done. hats off to you. And you know, I've got no hard feelings, just so we're aware. I just want to sort of, you know, bring light to it, as to the reasoning why, right? The other thing that I want to talk about is the fact that when we first got into MultiVAC, right, the team was doxed, stuff was on GitHub, and to be honest, it looked like a really solid project, which is why we invested in it. It was researched thoroughly, and I wanted to sort of cover that off. Right now, you know, most of the team is disappeared. Whether they still work there or not, we don't really know. And you know, we should really have that transparency. I always talk about how the team is very, very important. It's one of the pillars of importance when it comes to investing in crypto projects. When, you know, things don't go well or don't go to plan, or there are problems, the team is so important. And you know, looking at the team initially, I was like, wow, this is an amazing team. But now I can't do that. I can't look at the team and say this team is amazing. I can basically take Sean's word for it. And I can take the admins and mods word for it, 𝗕𝗃's word for it, whoever 𝗕𝗃 is. So, you know, I wanted to just talk about the fact that they were doxed initially when we got into it. I think it's really important, just so people that are perhaps newer to the channel, because we only had 20,000 subscribers back then, know that we did our research. Now, with all of that said, Nick and myself, you know, we have made learnings, and one of the learnings is that we should always keep an eye on audits. There was an audit done after we invested, when the project was doing really, 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 really well. And I guess we got maybe caught up a little bit in how well it was doing. But there is a major call out that was made in this particular audit. Now, the description of this is alarming, right? And I have done a bit of a write-up for members in our Discord, sorry, not Discord, Patreon. So do check that out, where it's all detailed, including the links to the audit. Now, the description: the owner of the contract has the permission to set all functions non-callable through function stop, set all functions can be called through function start, transfer 10 billion tokens to the account of the owner. So what this is basically saying is that they can get, well, they can call all of the tokens to the one account, right? At least that's my understanding of it, right? I'm no expert on these reports and stuff like that, but basically the highlight here and the recommendation is: we advise the client to carefully manage the owner account's private keys to avoid the potential risk of being hacked. In general, we strongly recommend centralized privileges or roles in the protocol to be improved via the decentralization mechanism of smart contract-based accounts with enhanced security procedures, for example, multi-signature wallets. So I think what's being implied here is there's no multi-sig wallets associated with this particular project. And we've seen through the likes of, let's say, 𝗕𝗙, for example, they had what we understand or are informed, and we can only speculate that this is accurate. So I'm not saying that this is factual information, but what came from Matt at 𝗕𝗙 was they had a rogue employee that drained their liquidity pool. So, you know, there's an awful lot of tokens that are being staked at MultiVAC, and, you know, maybe that's where the security risk is. So I would ask the questions of MultiVAC as to how safe your funds are based on the information in this audit. Now, we did miss this. It was in, I think it was August 2021. And if you look at the price, most people were focused on how well the price was doing, including ourselves. And ultimately, my learning is to definitely keep a closer eye on, you know, new audits. Real learning for me. But yeah, definitely one to go take a look at. Now, you can go to CoinMarketCap, for example, and you can find the details for the audit, and it's in PDF form. So yeah, do check that out. I will put a link in the description of this video as well. So off the back of that, I do have leaked information from chats between the developers of some of the ecosystem, the mods, and all that sort of wonderful stuff. So I'm going to assume that this is factual information and hasn't been edited in any way before being sent to me. But you know, that's for other people. I'm not a fact checker. I'm just literally sharing public information, and you guys can make your own decisions off the back of it. So this is what I believe to be from Sean. Regarding code audits, frankly speaking, there's still a lot of bugs and security issues that have not been resolved. In fact, like 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗧, there are still many legacy bugs such as ETH node synchronization may be stuck, but it's not. It does not affect the security of funds. Well, at least that's positive news. It is difficult for us to say MultiVAC's problems will not bring about financial security problems at all. So that's a bit worrying. So we will be more cautious. In addition, I don't think KuCoin will approve such audit results. We have not announced it through fear of causing panic, but you are all best buddies. So honestly, explain to you, we put a lot of effort into improving the reliability and security of our mainnet nodes, which you can't see. The last security audit cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we are all also set aside funds for the next audit. At present, we have basically solved the problem involving the security of funds, but there is still small probability that it may bring risks to censorship levels. In fact, last year there were a case where MultiVAC mainnet did not generate blocks for 2 consecutive hours. Last time we solved it manually, but if the node client is released, we cannot manually intervene. Node's open source code and KuCoin support for the main network are actually similar problems. It is that we don't we are not so confident in the code, but at least in the case where we control the node, we can solve the problem. The code stability is much better now than when it was first launched in June. I think this year we will usher in relatively stable and reliable code, and we'll move forward with the work. So sorry for me reading, it's really small on my screen. So hopefully you know, Sean's words to the team in one of the mod chats, you guys make up your mind as to how you feel about that. Then I want to sort of talk about the wallet situation, right? And again, I think this is all sort of centering, I guess where I'm heading is it's all centering around the information that's made available to retail investors, right? And I question the accuracy of some of the data. Now, I speculate that it's inaccurate, and I'm going to sort of go through my reasonings as to why. And, you know, I asked the question of you guys here watching, is there foul play behind some of the stuff and activity that is going on here? I can't answer that. I don't have an opinion on it. It's really for you guys to decide. So this is a tweet, and the reason why I copy it here is it was retweeted by the official MultiVAC team. In 5 months, the number of wallets staking MTV increased more than 644%. I think that is remarkable. Matter of fact, seeing this is the sort of stuff that makes me really bullish on a project. It might make me invest more. It could possibly make me invest for the first time seeing data like this. And that's why I think it's really important that we cover it off. So let's have a look at this, right? So we're saying that 43,696 wallets with under 1 million is what's actually staking now. I think that is remarkable, phenomenal numbers. Now, particularly when I look at I guess the price action of MultiVAC, I kind of feel like that these two sets of data don't marry up quite as I would expect them to. I would expect to be seeing huge adoption, and with adoption becomes, I guess, demand, and then there's an issue with supply. So I'm not seeing the demand that is articulated to me here. I see this as demand. This I see as no demand. So you can see why I might be confused and why I decided to look into it a little bit further. Now, the data is from this website, mtvcoin.fun. And as much as they say that, you can't rely on the data in here, and that they are not MultiVAC themselves, they are part of the community. I can't confirm or deny whether they are involved with MultiVAC in any way, shape or form. Or that I question whether the data is accurate, right? So that's kind of my take on it. You guys take a look. I will link the website below, and you can make a decision as to what you believe. But this is what I found. I went to the MultiVAC website. I had a look at the number of wallets delegating, and you would think, based on the numbers, that there's 45,319 wallets delegating. However, a lot of them have nothing staked, and actually less than 9,000 wallets are actually staking based on the website data from MultiVAC. Now, I did notice that somebody was asking very similar questions to me, and this was the answer that Team MultiVAC came back with. The question that was asked was, is this website legit? It's built by a loved community member, never had any problems with it, is the response. Now, I think this person followed it up to say, is the data 100% accurate? Never got an answer. So basically, I'm going to take this as on face value that the data is accurate. Then, if you've never had any problems with this particular website, then I assume that the data is accurate, right? Based on the fact that you've retweeted it. But then I look through some of the leaked information that was shared with me, and Hannah, and that is Hannah, who's one of the moderators or admins, questionable whether she's more than that, has basically highlighted the fact that ETH has around 2,900 holders. Binance Smart Chain has 17,000 holders. MultiVAC main chain has 48,000 holders, around 8,500 people staked. So, like, they're sharing information saying there's 40 odd thousand people staked when they know that there's 8,500 staked. Now, don't get me wrong, this date is later than the tweet that was sent out. So there is always that question that maybe they found out, but they never removed the tweet. The tweet was still public. I can still go look at that now. I really do think that if it's just a genuine mistake from the MultiVAC team, that you should fact check, right? And I'm just trying to make this so you can see it a little bit better. It should be fact checked. You should be checking the data that's sent out is accurate, because people are investing off the back of what you're sending out. The other thing that comes up, right? So this person's just laughing about it, because she's saying here, I guess trying to figure out what you say to people when they're questioning the data. And this person's just laughing. This account is deleted, so I assume this person's left. Those aren't real. Those aren't real. We had bots spamming new wallets for a long time. So this is why I asked the question at the start. Have MultiVAC set up bots in order to generate wallets for the perception of the project looking like it's actually got a real community that is heavily invested, or is this being done to just mislead investors, right? And the worrying thing is this person, who obviously is no longer there or just deleted the account just because they were tired of it, said that they're not sure that they've even stopped actually. Now, if I'd been Hannah at this point, I would have been like, what do you mean it's all fake? That's terrible. Like, that needs to stop. All I can see here is all wallets have more than 500 coins. Let me look again. And, here we go. How are you confirming the 48,000 wallets have 500 or more? Then if we sort of make this a little bit bigger here, make sure you can see it okay. So we've got Hannah. MTV mainnet has 8,500. That is a good amount. But after that, there are many addresses with more than 100,000 MTV in it. And then basically here, we had probably 20,000 wallets created non-stop for a while. Why would you do that? Is a question I've got. Hannah, it's only 8,500 that I can see 100% staked. So interesting. Now, there's lots of talk around Twitter and bots, and like maybe 90% of Elon Musk's Twitter may possibly be bots, according to some news outlets that I've seen. So it's a real inherent problem. Now, what I want to sort of articulate to everybody is I don't know how many pages. I mean, I'm not going to go through it all on this video, but just so you guys can see that I'm not making any of this up. I mean, this just goes on and on and on, right? Like, seriously, there's just so much of this stuff. There is so much stuff I could cover off with you. I am merely at this point scratching the surface. Now, there were lots of people saying that I have nothing, and I shouldn't be sort of making the noise that I'm making. But when you receive this sort of amount of stuff, and you spend hours upon hours of your day, because I don't have a research team, going through all of this information. I mean, like, this is, I just wanted to show you guys and girls just, what it is that I've kind of had to endure going through, right? But what I want to do, out of all of that stuff, I want to cover off a few bits in particular, because I see a lot of YouTubers getting a lot of hate. Now, I want to ask the question, how do you feel about the teams? The admins and all of these people, the actual people with the actual inside information, potentially. At least you would think, right? So if you work on a team, you might know that a project's going to pump, particularly the one you're working on, or it's going to dump based on whatever's coming out. So, the question is, really, are the mods and the teams actually the ones that people should be angry with rather than influencers? Is it the teams that are actually dumping on retail investors? Just a question to ask yourselves, and maybe even ask the team. But here's the mod chat, just so people are aware, we're not talking, being too long ago. I have, transcripts right up until the 10th of May, just so people are clear. Some of the individuals are no longer, by the looks of it, at least from what I can see, and my honest opinion, are no longer potentially part of the admin team, have moved on. However, there's still quite a few people that are involved in these transcripts and are still heavily involved in the project, at least what I can see from looking at who's a mod, an admin, community lead, and all that sort of stuff on Telegrams and in Discords. So on the 16th of March, Alex has joined this group, invited a few other members by the looks of it. So Alex has said he's in shock. Tom, this is how we make sure we get out. So this looks to me like they're just looking to get out. Alex is saying that he wasn't staked, which is really interesting because they're very, regularly telling people that, it's good to stake. It's so good that they're not doing it themselves. Not all of them, some of them are anyway. Tom, let's just pump the price to a cent or higher. I just think this stuff, when I was reading it, was just awful to see, because, you know, it looks very much to me, and you guys can make your own judgments, but it looks to me like they are looking to somehow increase the price and then sell their project, their tokens, right? Tom, get the fuck out. These people are a joke. CC, Sean, all of them. Now, you know, that's not the sentiment that you get from the team at all publicly. Tom, we have Twitter control. We've got Tom here. We can get it to a cent or better. Then we got crypto guy here. So this is the 15th of March. We have a lot of work to get done, guys. So this is where we are at in a nutshell. We don't know how long it'll be before we get nodes. We hope for this year, so we can keep the community intact and grow a decentralized system. We don't know who is left in the team. And that's a real concern for me. The team doesn't know who's left in the team. And they speculate that it's a skeleton crew. However, Sean is rebuilding or interviewing for positions. We think, again, speculation. People were not willing to work with the team anymore because they lost faith and became depressed. Programmers work remotely all the time, especially in these times. Roadmap has no dates because we're not certain, or we are afraid to make any milestones due to the unknowns. Need to include it in the main site. Admin suggests putting the 2022 roadmap up without dates, so on. No AMAs because it basically, I guess it's repetitiveness and coming soon. MTV.art is coming in a few weeks, which is good. Great job. No dates for hackathon made yet, but in contract is signed. MultiVAC pad is in operation, which is good thing. No continual communication as the team promised. The community is upset, and rightly so. Admin suggests that we get a dedicated dev to commit time, you know, for the community, I guess. Sean is candid about MultiVAC situation, and we appreciate those words. Volunteers are tired of getting slammed due to the lack of information from the team. Admins suggest having a dedicated dev to communicate to the team and community. We can't get any new exchanges with native coin deployed due to code issues. We have no audit information to date, no reference code in GitHub for people to review due to flaws, and the list goes on, right? Tom said delete all of our messages. Mine are deleted, said Alex. We will use the old admin chat to state our demands. If they don't meet, we will just use Twitter to pump the price before sell. State our demands from Sean, is what Tom said. Dan said, yeah, at this point, we just need some easy ones. Update the roadmap with some like laughing emoji. So basically, it's an ETH clone and with nothing attached. It's interesting. Could it be? Dan, the tech needs work to pass the audit. Can't do a hackathon without MTV scan or similar. Need an oracle with Tom and sharding are working on. Sean is very absent, so comms non-existent. Dan, we literally have no idea what Sean does daily. Is it that he plays games? Just my question. Hint of sarcasm here. I'm aware that sounds mental. We're checking up on him, but we just need comms from him. Tom, yes, Sean is full of shit. Tom, with no audit, which is why we can't get anything done. We go for weeks. We do not know for sure about the team. Nothing. I think it's just Sean and CC. Alex, who has control of the website? I think somebody mentioned earlier that they had control of it. Dude, better not rug pull, trap stakers. Wish I knew what the plan was. Sean needs Sean reads messages very rarely. I think the audit is a lie, said Alex, for sure. Code is big my ass. Mark, wait 7 days. Alex, yeah, unstaking is a must with this shit show. Mark, some of us still have some in stake. Yeah, trim that. Don't mention we contacted basically the audit company. Who contacted them? We know for a long time there was no audit ongoing. Alex, I'm thinking the dude is scamming. Not included. Change data, expected settings to download. I don't know what that is. This is reminding me of the investors that left MTV and trolled, maybe knowing something back then. The fact we as mods never know a damn thing and get zero comms tells me a lot. We've got Mark S. I feel bad for all the investors if this is the case. I mean, most of them are still in profit. Sorry, most of us are still in profit, but the ones that are new, damn. I have zero faith in any good answer from Sean. So if we all get out, then what? At what point does the main chat get warned, if at all? And that's a good question from Alex. When are these admins going to actually talk about the potential risk of what's going on here? Because, you know, this is alarming reading to me. And I perceptionally take this and speculate that this is factually, you know, been sent to me without any edits, right? So I think the issues will be solved, is what Tom said, but definitely wouldn't stake. I mean, if the admins are saying that they won't stake, that's alarming. I'm not staked for sure, said Alex. His brother shat himself, especially if the market shot up. He's probably dumping non-stop for years. I assume, make speculation here, that Alex is talking about Sean. I'm not too sure. You can make of that what you will. This answers tell me everything I need to know. I don't think any good solution can be forced out of him. He doesn't even talk to his own mod team. Literally no project leader does that. I agree. Never initially misled anybody. This is from Dan. I'm always try to communicate the information as I know it. Now, like, I would question this individual because they're earlier on, they knew about this. Why are they not sharing it? You are misleading, you know, investors if you're not sharing your concerns. Yeah, for sure, but it's a broken record. We will take notes and get back. I can say something similar, is what Alex is saying. Dan, I never going to use MTV art. I'll be real with you. Looks like Sean's piped in here. I asked Frank to temporarily revoke your admin privileges in the trading group, and I'll restore them from you for you later. This is interesting. Is Frank still part of the team then? Because this is March and Frank's still there. It seems crazy to me. Don telling people clearly that he's not happy. Nothing has changed. Nothing will. Another day in the office. Let's get the source and run the project ourselves. Who is with me? That's why they hid the GitHub, clearly. And this was my tweet the other day. We will become the first layer 1 meme layer. Really interesting concept there. It's the same shit. No date. Hackathon coming. MTV art. Audit slow because code is too big. Then it's Mark S. And there goes our chance to pump the price. Oh, and my wife, who's still staked. Nice. Yeah, basically they're annoyed they missed their opportunity to potentially sell their MTV on retail investors, not knowing all this stuff in the background was happening. At least that's how I perceive this, in my opinion. For what it's worth, I respect Mark for allowing us to vent. I'm trucking livid, I guess. Yeah, try not to swear. With Sean's flippant attitude towards the community. He could show up anytime he wants, but the mods are doing their best with very little to go on. It's a tough gig when the CEO acts like he's the second coming of Jesus. I almost died when she wanted to argue with me about MTV scan cost, telling I had no idea. It's only fair to give him 7 days of questioning while the rest of the lads unstake. So it looks like that, you know, the plan has always been to get rid of their coins as soon as they realised that there was a problem. This is everything that I've been highlighting and why I question the integrity of people that are, you know, building on the ecosystem or are working for MultiVAC in some shape or form, paid or non-paid. They have information that they're not sharing. I'm going to leave it here. I think, you know, the fact that they're talking about smoke and mirrors and all this sort of stuff, all of this stuff will be shared at a later date. The other thing that I want to come on to is this black hat. I'll take care of the social awareness, got the biggest shill server available, and I'll just make this a little bit bigger. Biggest shill server available on crypto, running 520 Twitter accounts and 200 TG accounts. I guess that's Telegram accounts. I'm not sure. Maybe you can let me know in the comments. Personally, I'm not sure the fake accounts help putting out the same message, rather that the rather have real NFT producers putting out supportive tweets rather than shill bots. Black Hat has come back and said, who said they were fake accounts? All of them are real and use spin tax messages. Each message is different. So interesting that. The other one here that we've got, and you may not be able to see this is Hannah. Black Hat has his own way to do that. He can be very helpful, but he is independent. He can also give each account 200 followers and do it like Elon and others. Laughy face. Bots are standard on Twitter. Most big accounts have 90% bot followers. Everyone should do it like he likes, but nobody pays. So, you know, the question is, are MultiVAC using bots? Are the projects building on MultiVAC using bots? You know, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I think the question are asked and the team is informed about it. That's good. So it needs no more repeats. If we get no answers on them, we can vote to show the team that there is a big interest in getting the answer. You can not have an official admin of MultiVAC using bots to promote their own tweets. This adds authenticity to it when it's not. And this is the point and the reason why I raise it. Yeah, by using bots, you are basically trying to make something perceptionally look like it's got more adoption, more interest behind it than it really does, right? And I question whether whenever somebody comes out with something negative, whether bots are used to, you know, spam those accounts, right? Because, you know, I look at some of the heat that I've had on Twitter, and one of the most common things that comes up is the tech is amazing. Maybe not those words, but something along those words. And I question whether those are just bots. It's totally clear to anyone to search for MultiVAC that they are bots, and easy to see the source. As said above, some control and professionalism needs to be brought in. Hannah, for me, Twitter is ruled by bots, so it makes no difference, but I am thankful for your opinion. Yes, it is clear that he is also an admin and his account has the same name like as admin, that he can be bad or good. I never contacted my account out of such reason because I don't want contact my private posting with my functioning admin, but there are no rules that the core team has placed. maybe they will change in the future. So basically, Hannah is condoning the activity on the basis that others do it, which I just think is terrible. Then we've got Rich here. Bunch of bots running, making MultiVAC look like a shitcoin again. I see. Clearly, it's being noticed. And then we've got Chris from Multiworms. Okay, thank you. I'm a bit worried if he did. It's retweeted 70 times by accounts that all work for Black Hat Company, and each account has only 5 followers. So I'd be very shocked if they had paid for that. Thank you. Hannah, Black Hat has his own way of do that. He can be very helpful, but he is independent. He can also give each account 200 followers, and basically like Elon or other people, bots are standard in Twitter. Most big accounts have 90% bot followers. Everyone should do it like he likes, but no payments. And then we got Black Hat helps out the team to promote the project in his spare time. We are thankful for his hard work. For me, it's very, very interesting, and I don't ever want to be doing videos like this, sort of bringing people's attention to this sort of content. And this is a very, very long video, and yeah, it's been a long 7 days plus looking through all of this stuff. So, you know, it would be great to have some transparency. It would be great to just not have this fudded down as, you know, just FUD. I would much prefer that we had some transparency and had some answers for some of the topics and the questions being raised in this video. Now, please don't sue me. I am releasing what is public information for you guys to make your own judgment on, and for you to go do research on. I believe that this is all factual information. Some of these opinions are not mine, but I do speculate on some of the stuff that is articulated in here. Ultimately, you can search for all this information online. It's readily available. And yeah, I'm interested to get people's views and opinions. Now, I have spent an awful lot of time putting this together. I have been up till like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I forgot to say that, you know, I hope you got your popcorn for the video. And I hope that you guys can make some more informed decisions, and go research the stuff that I've highlighted. Now, I will circle back to what I said at the beginning. I believe that this is factual information and it wasn't edited in any way before being sent to me. And, you know, I'm just trying to cover off what I think, you know, the MultiVAC team may say about this information that's being shared. Ultimately, it's been shared by multiple sources with me, from multiple places on the internet. And it's one of those, right? Like, I have nothing to gain but everything to lose. So, you know, who would you want to listen to? Somebody that's invested and has something to gain, or something to massively lose off the back of this information being accurate, or somebody that's impartial? I'm very impartial, and with that said, I want the project to be successful. I want each and every one of you to be successful. I'm not doing this to you know, have an impact on price. I'm doing this for you guys to be able to go research and ask questions, ask the right questions, because sometimes you can ask a question in 3 or 4 different ways, and depending on how you answer it, depends on the answer that you get. And this was a big learning that I had when I worked in the corporate world. It's very important that you think through the questions, and maybe you ask the same question in 4 different ways to see whether you get the same answer. So yeah, look, like, there's questions over the team, in my opinion, and this is just purely my honest opinion. I question, you know, who is Kathy? Where's her LinkedIn profile? She's doxed. Why? You know, got a full name, but I can't find her anywhere. I find no information on her whatsoever. It'd be great to be able to, you know, see who she is. It'd be great to have that LinkedIn profile, so you can see all the information, and, you know, for it to be more transparent. It'd be interesting to see whether the team can be doxed. It'd be interesting to see whether the code can be made available. It'd be interesting to know what all the security issues and concerns are, if any. And ultimately, a lot of things may have changed between the information being sent to me and you know, how it is in reality now. And really, that's for the team to articulate to people. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes back. I hope that I haven't upset anybody along this journey. I hope that people don't make any losses off the back of any of the information that I've sent out in this video. Yeah, like, you know, please just know that I'm doing this from a good place, not a bad place, and that it's all about, you know, helping people be successful in this space, regardless of the project. Never marry your bags. Always, you know, do your due diligence, and never believe what anybody says in the space, including myself. Don't believe any of the stuff that I've covered today. Don't believe any of it. Use it as a resource to go research to see whether you can, you know, discredit it factually. And if you can do that, then you did well in this space. But don't marry your bags. Question, you know, people's vested interests with the information that they're giving to you. And yeah, take a look at the wallets, take a look at the team, you know, go look at LinkedIn, go dig up, see what you can find. And, you know, if I'm wrong with any of this stuff, I apologize. I've fact checked as much as I can. And ultimately, I believe this to all be factual information. So, you know, if people are going to sue me, then, you know, do it. But, you know, I sit here with integrity, trying to do the right thing. So I hope this was enjoyable. If it was and you're watching it on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications, knowing that this YouTuber has got your back and is questioning everything. And if you want to be part of that and you want to be successful in the space, I can't guarantee that you will be through watching us, but, you know, we're going to make mistakes. We're human. But ultimately, you know, we're doing everything that we can to build generational level wealth for the many. So yeah, that's kind of like, you know, my piece out, the bit that I kind of want to say. People should stop throwing stones. If you live in a glass house, you shouldn't poke a bear. And ultimately, you know, all of this stuff, everybody was quick to jump on it on Twitter and be quite negative, trying to body shame me and and all sorts. Like, I don't give a rat's ass what your opinion is, because the only opinion that matters is mine. To me, you know, none of this stuff is hurtful. It doesn't bother me. But, you know, with all of that stuff said, take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you right or am I right? I'm out. Take care. Catch you in the next one.